Hello, my beautiful divine beings, my beautiful goddesses and gods. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. This is a pick a card reading on what inner child wound are you healing right now. So we have three groups, with group 1 on the left with a Carnelian crescent moon, group 2 in the middle with a rainbow citrine, and group 3 on the right with a gray moonstone. So if you need to pause the video, take a deep breath, center yourself, and see what group's calling out to you, which group you resonate with. If you resonate with more than one group, definitely check out all videos that resonate with you, and the timestamps for the groups will be in the description box below. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in your reading. Bye. Hi, Group 1. Welcome to your reading. This reading is for you if you chose Group 1 with the Carnelian half moon crystal, crescent moon crystal. So Group 1, we have the Heart and the 9 of Pentacles. So these two cards here represent the wound that you're healing right now, that your inner child is healing right now. And right away with the Heart coming up for you, I felt loneliness when I saw this card. The first things I noticed were it looks like two people on a boat out in the middle of a big body of water, and it looks like they're surrounded by this nest. I really just got this image and this feeling of you as a child spending a lot of time caught up in your own world, like in an imaginary world or in the spirit realm, really. And I really got this idea of the heart being your sanctuary, like a place you can call home, a safe place, like a nest, like when we think of like a bird's nest. And I just felt like part of how you coped with this potential wounding of loneliness was to take sanctuary in this imaginary or spiritual realm of yours, like within your imagination. Or I just really felt like you have a strong connection to spirit, and you potentially had maybe an imaginary friend growing up, because we got the 9 of Pentacles to clarify. And this falcon here, this bird with this woman, it really symbolizes a strong connection to spirit and to the divine. And I just felt like with seeing like this own world kind of thing coming up, and this spirit guide or angel potentially right here, I felt like I said you have a strong connection to spirit and your imagination, and that really gave you some security within some potential solitude that you felt. The 9 of Pentacles can be more of a lonely card. It's a card of a woman building up a bunch of beautiful abundance around her, but it can be a card of like feeling lonely at the top. So I really did feel this, like I feel like you probably had a very abundant upbringing, but at times it might have felt lonely. You might have had parents who had to work a lot to build up that abundance and like financial security for you to grow up into, to build up a life with a lot of physical comforts, because Pentacles are about the material realm. So I can see that you had to find security within your own heart and within this potentially imaginary place, but I really do feel like it was you at a young age tapping into the spirit realm. And I feel like you had a strong relationship with either your guardian angel or a spirit guide that came to you through your heart and gave you this sense of like being held like a nest. Some of you might have lost someone at a very young age, because I also saw here with the two people in the boat and the big body of water, it's like this desire for intimacy and companionship. So I can see it either being potentially you had busy parents and maybe you didn't feel like you got that closeness all the time that you desired within like the parent-child relationship, or it could potentially be, you lost a family member, maybe a family member passed on while you were very young, and that was a very hard loss to experience. Maybe it was just a very close friend. Maybe you had a best friend or a close friend, like human friend that you lost at a young age. Maybe they moved away. It could also be experiencing the loss of an imaginary friend at a young age, because you went through some sort of trauma, and this friend that gave you that security and that comfort and that feeling of being held. Maybe they were taken from you because of some traumatic experience. This could be so many things, and this is just the first two cards that came out for you, but right away, that's what I am seeing with all of this. So let's just go ahead and move this up here, and we're going to get more into your reading. Let's get deeper into your reading, group one. Okay, guys, this is on the childhood and inner child wound. They're healing right now. Inner child wound, they're healing right now for group. Like potentially some of you could have moved a lot as a child, and that could have made it difficult for you to build deep, meaningful relationships with people, because potentially maybe you had a parent in the military and you had to move a lot. So I could see that being a factor here in this deeper loneliness, wounding. You could have been an only child, and you could have maybe experienced loneliness in that capacity. You could have also been the child of a large family. You could have had a lot of siblings, and your parents had to divide their attention between each sibling. So you could have felt like maybe you got lost in the middle. Maybe you were a middle child and you felt like you didn't really get all of the undivided attention that you might have desired as a child. And that's why you took companionship and confide in a spirit guide or an angel, an imaginary friend. Yeah, again, Two of Cups coming up here. This is like a deep, intimate bond, deep companionship and intimacy, and really feeling held by someone, really feeling like seen by someone else. So I just really feel like these are all deeper themes of this wounding. I mean, whether or not you went through a traumatic experience of losing someone, you maybe just as a young child craved and desired deeply being seen or deeply being held, and you maybe didn't quite get that, or maybe not to the degree that your soul desired. It's this first card represents group one. It signifies group one. What is this? Yeah, it's just so interesting. I keep seeing this idea of you being caught up in an imaginary world or the spirit world. We got the Two of Wands here. So this is like the card of daydreaming, being lost in your thoughts, having hopes and dreams for the future. So yeah, everything I said before, that's what this card is telling us about you. You're very creative. Like I said, you have a strong connection to the divine. You're very tapped into the spiritual realm. This is also Wands, so it's the suit of fire. So you could be, like I said, a very creative person, but you could also just have a lot of fire within you, or a lot of fire in your astrological chart. You could have a sun, moon, rising sign of fire. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, or that could just be kind of a strong elemental energy within you. I'm noticing a lot of red in all of these cards, and of course the Carnelian, which is like a very fiery crystal. I also wanted to mention here, there's like a little triangle I was noticing in this crystal, and I wanted to place it this way. I went to try to place it this way, and that felt so wrong to me. So I placed it this way for the reading, and it's like a descending triangle. It's like spirit descending to the material. And I found that to be so interesting because I picked up on that strong connection to spirit. And then we've just got confirmation with that here with the card to signify you. So that's incredible. What's at the subconscious or the root, or where is this wounding coming from? Root, where is this wounding? Yeah, so it is likely you did suffer some heartbreak as a young child, some loss. The Three of Swords, it can be at its most mild, some disappointment, but at its most extreme, some heartbreak, some betrayal. You could have felt betrayed by an authority figure in your life. It could have just been more of like this sense of betrayal and the security that you desired with this heart card here. But wow, of course, the heart. And then here the heart is breaking. So there was some sort of disturbance in your childhood, whether it's conscious to your memory or not, or whether, it's buried in your subconscious and you're not quite aware of this, but something was disturbing to your heart as a young age. It disturbed this sense of calm inner peace. I'm really noticing the calm waters here, and that sense of security and being held. I'm just really seeing like the dichotomy of these images. It's like this nest of like being safely held and secure, and of being pulled in a million different directions and like your heart breaking open. There could have been some conflict in your home. You could be a child of divorce. You could have felt like when your parents split, it was like your heart was being broken in a million different pieces and really feeling deeply the sadness there. You could have been a product of a broken home, and that could have deeply disturbed your sense of security. That could definitely be something for some of you here. It could also just be some sort of heartbreak, like I said, with the loss of this connection to the spirit realm, or loss of an imaginary friend or a spirit guide due to a traumatic event, or the loss of a loved one or a close friend, or just some disappointment in your expectations growing up as a young child. Some things could have happened. Your parents, your family could have gone through some hardship, and it could have really kind of shaken up your childlike view of the world. It could have caused you to grow up a little bit more pessimistic in your view, or a little bit more realistic. And you could have kind of lost that childlike wonder and fantasy and that innocence of the child. But I am seeing a lot of pain here. You did experience some pain and some potential loss as a child. Maybe it's just the loss of the inner child in general. It's really interesting because the sun was at the bottom of the deck. Typically this card has a child in it, but I'm just really seeing this sense of like liberation, like the freedom to be your authentic self. Something maybe made you feel like you needed to hide, or you needed to kind of grip on to life and to security because you were afraid of loss and maybe afraid of being alone. Like I said, going back to that loneliness. Here, this is a feeling of like being connected to everything and being really open with life and with spirit, and just in general, being very optimistic, again, to that potentially some things leading you to feel like you needed to expect less, or losing that childlike wonder and innocence and gaining some sort of like pessimism or cynical nature. What's the purpose of this healing coming up right now? The purpose of this inner child. I feel like this wound is following you through life. That's what I'm seeing here. It's like these crows that are following this guy. It's like whether you're conscious of the fact that you are going through a spiritual journey in your life right now, it does look like you are on some sort of journey and you're wandering through the darkness. You might be coming into some hardship in your life right now, or you might just be feeling this sense of loneliness creep back up within you, because this card does give that feeling of being alone, traveling through the darkness of the night. The moon here, it's really telling me something that will benefit you is tapping into your heart, tapping into that intuition that you can find there, tapping into that inner sanctuary of the heart that really held you as a child, but also trusting your intuition that it is going to guide you through the darkness. But I do feel like this wound is following you, whether or not you are consciously aware of it. And that's why it's coming up for healing right now, so that you can let go of it and release it, so that it won't continue to follow you within this next journey, this next chapter of your life. What's the obstacle, the challenge here? What's the obstacle or the obstacle? We got the Five of Cups. Cups are all about your emotions and your relationships. Again, it's another card. I mean, all of these cards to me really scream a deep sense of loneliness. I mean, look at them. They're all alone. Every card. They're all people alone and kind of wrapped up in another world, like kind of not really being present. She's daydreaming. She's consumed by her pain. He is on a mission, on a journey, consumed by where he's going. And she's consumed in loss. So still feeling this sense of loss here, that you maybe lost someone or something at a young age, or maybe you're dealing with loss right now for some reason. The egg here, it's really, if you're a woman watching this, you might have had a miscarriage, you might have lost a child. This whole idea of loneliness and loss coming up within the wounding of your inner child might be coming up so that you can heal from some current wounding. This could just be a time. There's a lot of retrogrades happening right now. We're in Venus retrograde. This is a timeless reading, but if you're watching this video right after I post it, this could be some, coming up because of the Venus retrograde we're experiencing right now. It could be just this deep, love wounding you're experiencing and trying to heal from, that you're revisiting because we're in Venus retrograde, and because this is an opportunity for you to heal it and to experience more love in your life and more connection and more relationship intimacy. So that's the biggest obstacle challenge right now. It's really lying the sense of loneliness and loss to rest. See how she's like, it's like she's almost burying this egg. She's pouring sand over it. It's like releasing the pain and realizing that whatever you lost, whatever died, whether it was a physical death of a parent, a loved one, someone, or just the loss of a companion or a friendship, or maybe it was a loss of a completely different kind. Whatever it was, it's like realizing that you are supported. You have a close connection to spirit. You're supported by these beautiful divine beings, and you're supported by the universe and the divine timing and divine purpose of everything. So whatever was lost was meant to go. You were meant to lose it for some bigger purpose that you might never understand. And the pain might always be there, but it's allowing yourself to bury it, to let that die, so that growth can come from it, healing can come from it, so that you can experience a sense of liberation with the 9 of Cups at the bottom, and just really see this light exuding out of her heart. And again, with the cups, this is your emotions and your relationships. This is all about fulfillment. And so you can experience true fulfillment within your life. You need to bury what has been lost, what has died, and to let it become fertilizer. Let it nourish you in your growth. How is this wounding affecting your current reality and life right now? So you are on the edge, on the brink of this new beginning, this journey I was seeing here. You are headed in a new direction in life because you are the Fool. This is the first card in the Major Arcana. It's a 0 card. It's all about taking a leap of faith and embarking on a new journey, a new beginning. So this wounding is coming up right now so that you can let go of the past, let go of the loss, let go of the loneliness, and embrace your connection to all. Embrace your connection to spirit, and really to have faith in the divine plan. That's what's being asked of you right now. And to be optimistic about the future. Okay, what are the opportunities for growth and healing? The opportunities for growth and healing here. Wow, your opportunities for growth and healing are immense right now. We got the Judgment card. This is all a card of liberation and rebirth, of like a soul revival. If you can see, it's like her spirit being lifted here to the divine. It is a resurrection energy. That is what's happening right now. This is so beautiful. This is one of the most beautiful things that could come out of an inner child healing. Your soul is being revived right now. Your spirit is being revived and resurrected. So really leaning into, really digging deep and doing the shadow work. Digging deep into this childhood wounding and healing it so that you can be liberated and resurrected on this new rebirth, this new journey that you're going on. You're being completely reborn into the best version of yourself, the most open and liberated version of yourself, your higher self. Your soul is really being revived in this process. You're going to feel more whole again. Your heart is going to heal. Who can help? Who can help, group 1? Who can help? Wow, you are going to be your biggest helper, and really your thought patterns and your mindset going into this. So it's like releasing the dark negativity and the hurt, really adopting some self-acceptance and forgiveness in this process is really going to help you, and really tuning into your thoughts, those things that you tell yourself, you know, the self-doubt, the inner critic. It's like really speaking to yourself in a positive way and using your thoughts and that strong imagination that you have, using it to help you manifest the future you want, using it to help you manifest healing. Your mental capacity, your intellect, your imagination, your creative imagination is very strong. You have very powerful manifestation abilities. So it's really all within you. You can best help yourself with this healing. And then what is the gift or the lesson or the blessing in all of this? What is the gift or the lesson gift, group 1. We got the Emperor, more fire energy. This is Aries energy. You're going to find stability and security within yourself and within your life in doing this healing work. He's the 4th card in the major arcana. 4s are all about stability and security. You might be dealing with some instability in your life right now, especially if you are the Fool card. It is likely you have experienced some endings, especially the Judgment coming up here. That's typically signifies some endings. The Fool card also signifies you've ended a chapter in your life and you're opening up into a new chapter. So there could be some instability. So things are going to stabilize. They're going to rebalance. They're going to recalibrate. And you're going to be the Emperor. He's the king of all the kings. You're going to be on top of your game, on top of the world. You're going to really feel confident and grounded and protected within your life. He is also the pioneer. He's the initiator because he's Aries. He's the first sign of the zodiac. So you're going to be in a really great position to frontier new possibilities for yourself, to pioneer new endeavors, new landscapes. I really see you creating a whole new life for yourself that has immense possibilities. It's very liberating. It's very heart-opening and gratifying on the material plane and on the spiritual plane. This is the card of sovereignty, of being in your power. Yeah, we got the 4 of Wands at the bottom, another 4, that sense of security and stability. But I'm also seeing here, you're going to have a lot to celebrate. And it's this whole leveling up energy. It's like graduating to a new level in your life. It feels very gratifying. And that's the blessing. You're going to feel more in control of your life and more grounded and centered within yourself, more content, more at peace, more whole. I'm just seeing he's sitting on this sphere here that usually represents a wholeness. It's like you're going to be at peace with this loneliness. It's interesting, right? Every single card, it's one person. We haven't really, other than the bottom of the deck energy with the celebration, I could almost see, because they're mirroring each other, it's like you're going to find this sense of peace and wholeness within your solitude, to where you're no longer going to feel alone being alone. And that is going to open you up to have some really intimate bonds and relationships with new people. And they're going to really mirror back to you the things that you want to see within yourself, the things that you want to project out into the world. So this is allowing you to have a deeper sense of intimacy within relationship, but also within yourself, a sense of wholeness within yourself. And it's like as a child, you develop attachments with people and with things. An attachment maybe with that imaginary friend that you could have potentially lost because you had to grow up. But it's like you're no longer going to have this deep wounding attachment to needing something outside of yourself. You're going to feel this sense of wholeness within yourself without needing any sort of external validation. Or you could have experienced in the past or right now or as a child some like deep need for codependency and being dependent on others. And of course, as a child, that's completely fair. You have to be dependent on those that are your elders or your caretakers. Carried on into adulthood, that can cause you some problems if you're not feeling like you can depend on yourself. You can't find that security within yourself. So I really do feel like in a very deep and meaningful way, you are going to find that sense of safety and security within yourself. And that is the blessing. That is the gift. You will no longer feel this deep sense of loneliness and loss. Maybe it's even loss of the self you've been experiencing. Like in this 5 of Cups card, I'm really seeing that, a sense of loss of the self, a loss of your soul, of your spirit, and you are regaining that. It's being revived like we saw with Judgment. So group 1, I really hope that this reading gave you some clarity or some sense of peace, some initiation of some healing for you, and some awareness of this childhood wound and ways that you can bring in healing that are going to positively benefit your life and your journey right now on this new journey that looks so beautiful and heart-opening and full of possibility. And it is going to bring you to the top of your game, the top of your world. It's going to make you the king of all the kings. So the king or potentially queen, right, in your life. And it's a very beautiful thing. So I do appreciate you being with me. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. It is always such an honor. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Thanks, Group 1. Hi, Group 2. Welcome to your reading. This reading is for you if you chose the Rainbow Citrine crystal. And again, this reading is on the inner child wounding you're healing right now. So for you, we got the Maiden to represent the wound, and then the Ace of Pentacles to clarify. So right away, with this card coming up and my intuitive choice of the citrine, the rainbow citrine, and just how beautiful it matches. I just love it. The colors. Right away, I heard princess wound. So I'm getting this idea that you potentially, for whatever reason, maybe didn't experience or feel like you got enough attention as a child. Maybe you feel like you weren't heard, because I am seeing, to me, this looks like an image of someone with their hand over their mouth. Maybe you weren't supported in speaking your truth as a young child. Maybe you weren't supported in always expressing yourself. Maybe you had an authority figure or like a teacher or a parent or any kind of a figure kind of give you this impression or idea that you were too much. Maybe you had a lot of energy, a lot of vitality. I'm seeing like all these golden yellows and the beautiful fiery pinks and reds. And maybe you were forced to like tone down your energy some, tone down your expression some. I'm almost seeing like this blackness, this like night darkness descending on this forest. I also right away noticed all these trees. It looks like she's within a forest. So maybe you felt like you got lost like in the forest, like lost in the crowd. Like maybe you had a lot of siblings. Maybe you were the middle child and you were kind of overshadowed. Maybe you are just the quiet, shy type that is more reserved, but still didn't feel like you were adequately supported in expressing yourself. Maybe you just feel like you didn't have the safety and security in your environment to do that. Maybe your parents were very busy. Maybe they traveled a lot, or maybe they worked a lot. And maybe you just didn't get that adequate attention, like undivided attention, not undevoted, undivided attention, that devoted attention. And I'm saying that because we're clarified by the Ace of Pentacles. And when I saw this card, it really gave me this idea of focus. This one pentacle here, it's like a target. It's like you're focusing on something in the material realm, because pentacles are of the material realm. So I just feel like your deeper inner childhood wounding had something to do with not getting enough attention and focus, and maybe not being adequately supported in your expression. With the citrine here, this is a very confident, inducing stone. It's full of vitality and life force energy. And with the rainbow, I don't think you can really see the rainbow here. There's not enough light, maybe. But it shows me that you are a very bright soul, that you are very colorful and expressive at your core. And you might have felt stifled with that night descending here on all the colors in the card. Your creativity might have been stifled. Yeah, I just really see all your vibrancy and like that princess energy. Like the princess is very beautiful and feminine and colorful and expressive and luxurious, and could be a bit too much. But some people who are maybe intimidated by her beautiful nature, or who are maybe threatened by it, could have experienced a lot of jealousy as a young child. Some people might have been even just competitive with you because of your bright, beautiful, brilliant, like radiant nature. Some people felt the need to dim your light as a child, and that could cause a very deep wound. I'm seeing this image here. It's very deep within you. It could have really created some blocks in your throat and your heart chakra, in your areas of expression, even your second chakra. So let's get into your reading. That's just kind of what I'm noticing here in your first cards. So with this princess energy coming up, I just get this sense of whether or not this is on your surface, or if it's just kind of subconscious within your spirit. But I really felt this radiance within you and this like sense of like luxury. And I'm not saying like that you're potentially actually, I mean, we did get a Pentacles card, so that is of the material realm, but I am noticing like the gold here. But like you have a luxurious spirit, like you know, you could be someone who appreciates the finer things in life, but also it's just kind of like in a deeper sense, even in more a spiritual sense, like you have a very rich spirit, a very rich soul. And so the deck I chose for you, it's the Bocelli Tarot, Golden Bocelli Tarot. Yeah, I just loved all the beautiful, rich, deep golds within this card. And it just kind of has this royalty vibe, this princess vibe to me. So we're going to try this deck for your reading. It is a newer deck of mine, but let's go with it. So going back to this idea of quote unquote luxury, like in the physical realm, you could have been someone whose parents maybe showered you with physical gifts because, you know, they were trying to subconsciously help fill that void for you because they couldn't give you more undivided attention. Maybe, you know, your parent was a single parent, single mom, single dad, and they had to be the caretaker plus the provider for the family. They maybe didn't have a ton of time to devote to just focusing on you. They had to focus on providing for the family and taking care of your needs. And so there wasn't a lot of like one-on-one, just undivided attention focusing on you and your expression. Yeah, temperance too, when I cut the deck, that's all about finding balance. And it's also about alchemizing some heavier energies, you know, alchemizing and healing of this wounding. So can we get a card to represent group 2? Card to represent group 2. Represent group 2. Temperance is also, it's a 5 energy. So there could have been some instability in your home that could have also contributed to this princess wound. It could have contributed to a sense of loneliness if you do feel like that resonates. You might want to look at group 1. But really I just feel like it's more of like you not feeling seen or heard. And being able to express yourself, like feeling safe or like really held, like supported to express yourself fully. And card to represent group 2, card for group 2, card for group 8, and card for group 2. Okay, you got 2 cards. Interesting. So they came up in reverse, but let's put them upright just to look at them. The Empress, yes. And then the Hanged Man. Okay, yes. This is all completely supporting my intuition and messages of the situation. So the Empress, she is a very luxurious individual. She's this goddess energy. She's very in tune with her senses, like her sensuality. She really, you know, she loves to indulge in the joys and pleasures of life. She is the divine feminine. So she's the princess in the tarot, right? She's the Empress. So that's so funny. You got the card of like the princess, but she came up in reverse. So it's like this sense and this feeling that the energy is kind of blocked there. Like I said, it's like you not being able to feel and express your full princessness. And if you're a male connecting to this energy, I mean, we all have a divine feminine and divine masculine energies within us. So it's just like, it can also be this energy of just like your creativity, your artistic ability, your connection with nature. It's like all of these divine feminine qualities within you that were kind of blocked because you weren't able to fully express them. And with the Hanged Man coming up in reverse with her, it is telling me that you're at this place where you're maybe wrestling with this blocked energy, or it's maybe coming into your awareness right now, where you're really feeling this sense of like not fully being yourself, not fully embracing yourself, not fully being able to express yourself. The Hanged Man in reverse is this call to like reemerge, like this spirit of yours that is being contained, maybe or stifled. It's like this desire to reemerge into the world. It's like when the Hanged Man comes up in reverse, it's like you've been through this period of kind of waiting, of like, I'm just feeling this energy of this period of your spirit being stifled, or like you just contained in a more mild sense. It could have felt contained, and it's trying to reemerge now. It's trying to surface. It's trying to come up for air and expression. So that is really beautiful to represent you right now. Let's have the subconscious or the root, or where this wounding is coming from. Subconscious or the root, where the wounding is coming from. Another reversed card. So we got another 3 too. 3 is the number of harmony and creation, and the Empress is the 3rd card. Oh wow. The Hanged Man also. The Hanged Man is the 12th card. So this is also a third card. It's an octave of the Empress. And then you got the Three of Wands, which is wands are that fiery energy I spoke of, that creative energy. You are very, very creative. But you got 3 threes. 333. That's crazy. 333 could be a really significant number for you right now. Pay attention if 333 comes up for you right now. It could be your angels and your guides speaking to you right now. So yeah, 3 is a really significant number for you. I'm even just noticing in this card, this is the 8th card, right? But the 3 is showing up for me. I'm seeing the 3 right there. Yeah, 3 is a really significant number for you right now. This reading has a lot to do with your creativity or the emergence of some kind of creative expression. In reverse, this is an energy of like holding back from committing to some new creative venture, some sort of new journey. It's like a new voyage. In the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's like there's ships in the distance and there's a man looking out between the wands into the distance. And it's all about committing to the new voyage, the new journey. Here I'm noticing, if this is focusing, it looks like she's got some sort of fruit or flower petals maybe. Maybe she's picking flowers for their petals. I'm just really feeling this. It's like this cultivation of your creativity and the courage necessary to fearlessly embark on this creative, self-expressive journey. The 3 of Wands in reverse can be a sense of holding back, holding your energy back. And again, that just goes back to maybe not feeling the sense of support or safety and security in your childhood to really express yourself creatively and artistically, or just to express your inner fire, your inner exuberance and vitality that I spoke of with the citrine, your energy, your divine spark. Yeah, you're definitely very creative because we got the Queen of Cups at the bottom here. Oh, what is the purpose for this healing to come up right now? The purpose of this healing coming up right now. 6 of Cups, but it came up in reverse. So it's interesting. We have the child here really echoing that inner child wound. That potentially childhood wound. I feel you might be getting caught up in the past right now. There might be something in your past that you're having a hard time letting go of. Of course, at the root of all of this, it's the childhood wound or the inner child wound we're discussing, but it's somehow distracting you from being present in your current life. That's why this is coming up right now. I just really see this child. It's like he's looking off into the distance and he's just totally engaged in imagination. You could have a really strong imagination, and then you could be very also drawn to group 1, and you might want to check group 1 out. But yeah, it's almost like being lost in this other world, which I'm getting is like the world of the past. It's like if all of you have a lot of energy within you, you have a lot of vitality and a lot of creative life force. But if you're constantly consumed in thoughts of the past or rumination, you're draining your energy. You're draining your creative energy that you could be positively channeling into something creative. And I think that is really what your soul desires right now, is to channel your energy into something creative, because that keeps coming up for you. So the reason this healing is coming up for you right now is that you're being asked to let go of the past, to let go of things that are pulling on your energy and that are keeping you from being present, preventing you from being present in your life and being fully invested, like we saw on this card before, energetically in your life. What's the biggest obstacle or challenge here? What's the biggest obstacle or challenge? Another reversed card. You got the 7 of Pentacles, but in reverse. Typically, this is a card of patient. And in reverse, I'm just really getting the sense that you're not feeling very satisfied with your life right now. And you might be feeling a little bit frustrated. You've been putting in a lot of hard work. You see she's like collecting some crops, and this little baby, or is it a baby? Or yeah, has a big bunch of grapes. She's got some other kind of crop. This is all about like cultivating for the harvest. But it's like in reverse here, you're not reaping the benefits of your hard work yet. And when that happens, that can be very frustrating. So the biggest challenge here is like, you're being asked to put in the work, potentially putting in the shadow work to heal this deep wounding, this princess wound that we're talking about, of cultivating your creativity and your self-expression and feeling safe and supported to do that. But it's like having the patience to realize that things aren't going to manifest in your physical reality right away. They are going to take time to manifest. This is about having the patience and the fortitude to allow that to happen, having the endurance and the stamina like that I know you have, because you have all this beautiful, exuberant, creative energy within you, all this radiance. So it's like not getting burnt out in the waiting and having to be patient for things to come to the surface. And it's knowing that, even if you aren't seeing results you want to see, if you're not feeling very gratified and satisfied with the way your life is right now or the way it looks on the surface, growth is happening underneath. And if you just trust in the divine, trust in the universe, trust in this bigger divine plan for yourself, and give the healing time, have patience, things are going to rise to the surface and manifest in your outer reality, and you will feel that sense of gratitude. If you give it time to manifest, and give the healing time to manifest. Queen of Wands at the bottom of the deck also came up in reverse. It is telling me that you are feeling this sense of kind of insecurity with life right now and just the way it looks. But again, like I said, this is just about having trust in yourself, not doubting yourself, because you are the Queen of Wands, right? You're the Empress, she's the major arcana Queen of Wands, because she's like the creative mother, right? So you are this beautiful goddess, creatrix energy. You have the ability to create whatever future you want. That is who the goddess, the creatrix is. She creates new realities. She is the ultimate female creator, right? The goddess. So it's like you have this strong divine feminine power within you. So trust that. Don't feed into insecurity and self-doubt. If others were jealous of you growing up, if they did try to dim your radiance, don't let that seep into your consciousness. Don't let that make you feel self-conscious and insecure. Know who you are. You are the goddess. I'm just going to put her there. I feel she's important for you. How is this affecting your current reality in your life? How is this affecting your current reality in your life? Kind of already touched on that, but let's ask her more. How else is this affecting you choose current reality in life? Wow. I love this, because this to me she looks like Venus, which is the Empress. The Empress is associated with the planet of love and beauty, Venus. She is the goddess. This is the Four of Swords, and this is the Ace of Wands. Yes, how this is affecting your reality in your life right now. It is challenging your sense of security within yourself, because this is a swords card. Swords are all about stability and security, and swords are of the mind. So it's like this mental security that I was tapping into with the Queen of Wands in reverse coming up at the bottom of the deck. It is chipping away at that internal confidence and sense of security. Of course it would. Of course it would. You are this vibrant princess, this maiden archetype, right? This beautiful feminine energy. And if your light was dimmed at a young age, if it was suppressed, if it was contained, if you weren't given adequate audience that you so deserve, because you are this beautiful, radiant soul, that could really challenge your inner sense of security, and it could really develop some disturbance in your thought patterns, some insecurity, some self-doubt. And with the Ace of Wands here, it's just showing me that you are really being challenged to step into this new creative beginning, because that is what the Ace of Wands is. And that is what we've touched on before. You're really being asked to grab your magic wand and take control of your life, to create the life you want, and to realize your inner power as this beautiful creatrix, the creator of your life. I don't know if any of you in this group are artists. There's a strong likeliness that you are, but I would really encourage you to tap into your art. Of course, this deck that I chose for you, it is a very well-known, well-renowned artist who has his art's lasted and lived on well beyond his life. This is an opportunity for you to create a legacy for yourself. And that is what the Ace of Pentacles is. It's like that the aces are that beginning, that potential. There is this profound potential for this, creating that strong stability in your physical reality, that abundance that you are as the Empress energy, right? It's this strong, I'm getting this strong legacy energy, when I'm thinking of legacy, I'm thinking of that luxury. It's like passing on that beauty and radiance and luxury that you are to later to your family that you may have, if you do have a family and like a partner and children, but also just like the legacy of your art, diving into your art and letting that be your legacy, whatever that is for you, whether it's like painting, right? Physical art or other forms of art. Like maybe you have a podcast. I would consider that art. Maybe you're also a tarot reader. Maybe there's so many different forms of art. Maybe you're a writer. Wherever your self-expression wants to go, really ask yourself, tune into your inner child. What are the things you enjoy doing as a child? Did you enjoy painting or drawing? Did you enjoy just playing outside in nature? That is very much Empress energy. Maybe your legacy has to do with animals. Maybe you've developed a business where you take care of animals, or you're a veterinarian, or you take care of animals. You're a foster. Maybe you do something. Oh, you're very good at gardening. I'm noticing here all the lush, abundant landscapes and greenery. Whatever your art is, it's likely you know what it is. And if you don't know what your art is, tune into your inner child and ask yourself what you like to do as a child and revisit those things and find your art, because there's creativity and art here in like every card. So it's really important, if you haven't discovered that for yourself, because you are on this new path of discovery, this is your time. This is a very advantageous time for you to discover your quote unquote art, if it's not the traditional sense of art. And so what are opportunities for growth and healing? Opportunities for growth and healing. Wow, we got the Queen of Cups here, and she jumped out upright this time. So this is a very unique opportunity for you to tap into that creative energy that I talked about. If you're already an artist, that you already have your work you've put out, look, it could be a writer. I'm seeing you could write a book. But like I said, there's many different people connecting to this reading, many different kinds of art. Music, of course. How could I not think of music? It could be about writing music, right? But you have a unique capability right now to experience a lot of growth within the production of your art, within tapping into your creative process and your creative abilities, and finding healing there, and finding healing in your writing of songs, writing of books, you're journaling. Maybe you do mixed media art where you do writing and you do imagery. Yeah, this is a very powerful time for you to really utilize that creative energy in a very powerful way to transform yourself internally and to transform your external reality and your life as a whole. Who can help group 2? Who can help them right now in their journey? Who or even what will help them right now in their journey? You got Justice. This is Libra energy. It's so funny. It's like also the Empress is related to Libra because both are ruled by Venus. So who or what is going to help you? I really just feel like this is so funny because the first group also got this too. And I keep saying, if the first group resonated with you, definitely go back and listen, because there could be messages there for you too. But yeah, this is really saying it's all within you. You are going to be the best to help yourself, because we got this Libra energy here. This is you, your inner beauty, your attention to detail, and your ability to create beauty within yourself and then in your surroundings. It's like everything you touch becomes beautiful. You have this, and I'm just so loving this princess imagery, right? Because I just feel like that's the princess. For some reason too, I kept in the beginning when I was seeing the mating card, I kept thinking of the Little Princess movie, with Shirley Temple. And I just feel like that movie is so cute, and she just has such a beautiful soul. And I recently watched part of it. I tried to watch it with my son. He was totally uninterested, but she has such a beautiful soul in that movie. And it's like everything she touches, she brings beauty into it. Every life that she touched, she helped them see their inner beauty, and she made them feel beautiful. She would see the beauty in everything instead of like the darkness and the sadness and the sense of like loss, which is like, I'm feeling, can't find the word, but the opposite of luxury, the lack. Right? It's like you help the world be a better place because you see the luxury in it. You see the abundance. And we really need that right now, and in a time of where most people are really feeling a sense of lack and loss. So what you are going to help, and diving into your own creative energy is going to help, and it's going to profoundly affect not only your reality, but the reality of others. Just the way the Little Princess does. It's like that princess energy bringing a sense of royalty and beauty to everything. And then last message, what is the gift or the lesson or the blessing for group 2? What is the gift or the lesson or the blessing. Another 3 card. Wow. So many 3s within your reading. Really pay attention to seeing the number 3, 333. Again, 3s are all about creativity. They're about harmony. It's like harmonizing the mind, the body, the spirit. It's about coming into that wholeness, like the Trinity, right? The gift, the lesson, the blessing here. The 3 of Pentacles, it is about connection. I'm just really feeling like this connection within yourself. It's like you're going to really feel whole. Again, when I touched on like the wholeness, the harmony of the 3, it's like, and of the Trinity of the Holy Spirit, it's like you're going to really feel whole within yourself if you do this, if you dive into your creativity and work on the healing. For you, for group 1, it was like more of shadow work of healing their inner child. For you, it's more of work through your creativity. You need to create something. This could also be about collaboration, about, extending your art into, collaborating with another artist, collaborating with another group. It could just be about like putting your art on social media and you're creating that connection with others so they can see it. You're learning a bigger life lesson here. And it really is at its core about your expression, about putting yourself out there and having confidence and courage to do that. So group 2, I really hope this reading helped you. I really hope you're feeling inspired and encouraged to really express your radiance, because you are a very, very radiant individual. And I so enjoyed doing this reading for you. It was such an honor. I do appreciate you being here, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Hi, group 3. Welcome to your reading. This reading is for you if you chose the gray Moonstone. And of course, group 3. And this reading is on the inner child wound you're healing right now. So for you, we got the crone to represent the wound, and then the 5 of Pentacles to clarify. So right away when I saw the crone, I thought you had to grow up from a very early age in your childhood, from a very young age. It's likely something may have happened, or you may have suffered some sort of trauma, or even like circumstantial situation that forced you to grow up at a very early stage in your life. That was before your consciousness had the time to mature and develop. You were in some way maybe asked to grow up in some sort of capacity beyond your developmental capacity at the time. This could have manifested in many different ways. It could just be in the most mild sense. Maybe you experienced some change in the family and you were like, let's just say this could be even the journey of becoming like an elder sibling. Like maybe your parents got pregnant with another child very quickly after you, and you were forced to kind of step into that older sibling role. And so in that way, you were kind of forced to step into this crone energy of no longer being just the baby, right? You were the older child, the older sibling, or the oldest, right? You had to step into this role of being the oldest. Maybe you were forced then to assume that role of being the most responsible, of really taking care of everybody else in the family, the other siblings. I'm also getting maybe like single child vibes with this, almost like orphan vibes of like that orphan wounding of if you do identify with some loneliness, because on a deeper level though, the orphan wound it's an abandonment wound. And I am seeing that potential here too, because we got the 5 of Pentacles. This was all a card of being locked out of the life you want or left out in the cold. Could be in some of its strongest sense, right? Abandonment and being an actual orphan, or being disowned, or just being rejected could also be part of the wound here. It's like you somehow felt rejected by an authority figure or a parent or family member, someone in your life. And that the pain from that forced you to kind of grow up from a young age, kind of like let go of your innocence and this idea that everyone loves you unconditionally, right? As they should, because you are this beautiful divine being, this beautiful soul. But if you were rejected in some sort of way, or if love wasn't given you unconditionally, you could have been forced to kind of like suck it up and like repress some emotions and like realize that not everyone's going to love and accept you, and kind of internalize that pain, because that could be something really difficult to go through at a very young age. It also could just be like the parentified child, where maybe your home wasn't a very stable place, or you didn't have parents you could rely on, or you just didn't have a home life or a physical situation that you could rely on, which could be Five of Pentacles. Like there could have also been a sense of lack or poverty there. This could also be like spiritual poverty. You could have grown up in a house of atheist, or maybe just your parents were very scientific and very into factual based thinking and proof. And they weren't very spiritual. So there could have been a sense of spiritual poverty there. And that kind of forced you to fall out of your childhood innocence and into more of this like realistic world that kind of lacks magic and the color of like the child. And there's so many different ways this energy of the crone, of this idea, like I said, that I initially intuited and got the messages from my guides that you had to grow up in a sense at a very young age. And, I'm really noticing this crow here and how it's being held by a hand. And it's almost like losing this sense of being held. I can just almost feel it's like being a child, and it's like this whole, illusion that you're secure and that you're held, being shattered by something, by some sort of trauma, be it a very strong traumatic event or even more of a mild sense, or even could have been some sort of happening that you're not consciously aware of, an event that happened in your childhood that you've forgotten, but that could have shattered your sense of security and well-being and abundance, with the Five of Pentacles being here. It's interesting, he's also carrying a pentacle in his talons. And pentacles are a symbol of protection. So again, I'm getting this sense of like lack of security, lack of feeling protected, maybe by your home environment with the instability we talked about before, or by your parents or your caregivers. It's like losing the sense of really being held. And then crows are also messengers. And so again, with this thing of like spiritual poverty, of maybe like losing that connection to the divine. And I just really see it gripping this pentacle here, that feeling of being protected and like spiritually protected. And so you might have felt like you had to grow up really quick to protect yourself, to take care of yourself, or even potentially, like I kind of touched on before, take care of everyone else in the family, take care of others. And maybe you had a parent or family member that fell ill or fell into addiction, or in some sort of capacity couldn't take care of you and nurture you the way you needed as a child, because you needed to take care of them and nurture them. So some pretty heavy energy here in group 3, a little bit more so than I feel like I felt with the other groups. Although group 1 did have this theme of loneliness. So if you do identify with that, which I am kind of seeing that potential here, like some isolation feeling, you might want to go back to group 1 and look at that. You might have some messages there that are for you that could resonate. And it's really interesting. I intuitively chose the gray moonstone for you, because this is all about, I'm seeing it is about traveling through the darkness. You could be going through a dark night of the soul. I really do feel shadow work is going to be very healing for you right now. Very helpful in getting in touch with this childhood self and your inner child and the childhood wound and healing it. The fact that it is gray, and I am seeing like all this kind of like gray, it's like intermingling of colors, seeing the blue, and I'm definitely seeing the gray. So it's like kind of the meshing of there could have just been a lot of uncertainty growing up, which is, 5 is a very unstable number. With this card here, we have 13. That is also a number of mystery. So there could have been a lot of uncertainty for you growing up as a child that could have threatened your security and the sense of being held by your caregivers or by the universe, by the divine. So there could have been a big sense of loss of that. You could have felt very much like you were in the gray. You could very much now feel like you're in the gray, where you're maybe in between stage in life, kind of like a limbo period where you're kind of hanging up in the air, kind of like this bird, this crow in this hand. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into your reading to get some more about this. And it's also the Five of Pentacles energy. It's like they're outside of this church, they can't get in. So it's very much of like being in the in-between, not being able to truly find sanctuary. And I chose the Book of Shadows tarot deck for you. So again, I already told you, I believe shadow work is really going to help you with this inner child healing. I'm seeing a lot of moon imagery already in your reading that I guess I just want to touch on, and I'm sure we'll come back in, but obviously like the crescent moons here, we have a moonstone. This card just looks very much at night. I don't know. Crows, if they come out like during twilight or in the night, I don't know. I'm just getting this dark night energy. Like I said before, it could just be a dark night of the soul. So first card represents recruiting. I forgot to touch on earlier with the crow being the messenger. That was another message. You maybe had to be a mediator between your parents. I'm seeing these actually too here as like parent figures. They could have gone through a hard time. You know, someone could have lost their job. You could have struggled with financial stability or just stability in general, right? But parent loses their job, that does threaten the stability of your home, of your finances. There could have been other things that came up, right? That either your parents both together experienced some hardship, or maybe they fought a lot. Maybe you're a child of divorce. And maybe you had to be the mediator, like the messenger between them. And that can be really difficult, all difficult things to experience at a young age, very difficult role to step into. It's very in line with that crone energy of like having to grow up too fast, like I said, being put in the middle and the in-between, in the limbo, like I said before. But this card is signify you. So first we have coming out the Knave of Chalices, which is the Page of Cups. It's interesting. The Page of Cups is a very typically artistic person, very creative person. So if you do feel that is you, you might resonate actually with group 2. So you might want to also check out messages with group 2. But it's also like the eternal child archetype, which is so beautiful when we're talking about an inner child healing. So this does tell me that you have a very big heart. Cups are your emotions and your relationships, and that you're potentially very creative. But yeah, I am just getting this like eternal child archetype with you, like you, which is so interesting because it's like maybe at your core you are this like optimistic, eternally innocent. Like the child is all about innocence, and I'm speaking to like your divine nature, right? Your eternalness, your immortality, right? Your expansiveness. So it's like I'm feeling this, it's just like this beautiful image of the eternal child. I'm trying to explain it more, but it's like the dichotomy of that versus the crone, which is like the person who it's like you had to repress or maybe even somehow shed and hide away your innocent childlike nature, this beautiful, artistic, creative, expressive sense of self. And it's like your innocence was somehow like shattered and stripped, right? Because you had to step into this role of the crone, which is just, it does bring about this sense of deep sadness and loss, which is this card of having to like lose potentially this part of yourself. I just see how he's like looking into his own reflection, and it's like he's almost not recognizing himself. It's like he's trying to figure it out or find himself in his own reflection. And I love how beautiful these like spirit guides or angels, they look like little fairies, whatever you feel comfortable calling them, but it's like they're there helping him discover himself. So definitely some inner work is really going to benefit you. So I think targeting that shadow work, focusing on some inner work, some inner healing, some self-realization work, like really getting in touch with who you feel you are at your core, like beyond your roles, beyond the role of the crone, of maybe having to take care of others or your family or whatever your situation was growing up, maybe being the older sibling or just being the leader in the family, having to step up in some way, in some bigger capacity and responsibility beyond of what you should have at a young age, what you should have had to do at a young age. And it's really getting back to getting in touch with your inner child and remembering what it was like to actually be an innocent child and to get to experience that sense of security and openness and childlike wonder and faith in things, not having to rely on yourself or be so responsible. I do think that's going to really help you in this healing process. What is at the subconscious or the root where the wounds come from? subconscious root there. We got the 10 of Swords. Yeah, I just really feel like this is confirming for me what I spoke about before. 10 of Swords is about endings, and it can be about hurt and betrayal at its strongest. You might have felt somewhat betrayed, and you might even be a little bit resentful of having to step into this role too soon in life when you shouldn't have, when you should have been able to be a playful, carefree child. I think carefree is what I was looking for before, right? It reminds me of like the phoenix rising from the ashes. It's really about being liberated. See how they're like, those guides are like the fairies are coming from the fire. It's like about being purified and burning away heavier emotions like resentment energy, regret. Page of Cups. Cups are very emotional. You could be holding on to some repressed emotions. With this 10 of Swords being at the subconscious, there are potentially feelings of hurt and betrayal and abrupt endings, like the ending of your childhood too soon. And there's this resurrection I see potentially here of like reviving that inner child part of yourself, reviving that innocent, carefree, open, spirit-like nature that is within you, that wants to be expressed within this lifetime and within your adulthood. What is the purpose of this healing coming up right now? The purpose of this healing coming up right now. We got the 8 of Pentacles, which is so interesting because I saw that when we were shuffling. Like when I cut the deck and I was like, I wonder what that significance could be. So this is the purpose it's coming up for you right now. Typically the 8 of Pentacles has to do something with your work. It's interesting. This is the artist card and she's a potter. This is very creative energy. There could be some blocks if you are an artist in your artistry, in your creativity. You could be experiencing a creative block. This could just be a block in your work. You could be somewhat distracted. And at the core of it, it could be some of these emotions that I spoke of that are holding you back or somehow creating weight in your energetic field and kind of mucking things up for you, like clouding them when you could be feeling lighter and you could be more productive, get more things done. But it's like this energy of like the Cups energy and the 10 of Swords, it's like weighing you down. It could just be too, the purpose here is for you to find more joy in your life. See how she's working, right? But she looks so joyous. She's really enjoying the process. The 8 of Pentacles can very much be about enjoying the work, enjoying the process. So maybe this is coming up for you in your life right now so that you can really tap into your joy. You can tap into enjoying where you are right now, not where you want to be, not where you could be or should be or any of that. Enjoy this moment. Enjoy the getting there point, the becoming, right? What is the biggest obstacle here? For group 3, the biggest obstacle or challenge in this energy. So yeah, it's likely if you did have to grow up very fast, you did experience some hardship early in life, you might not feel like life's very enjoyable. You might have felt like life is very hard and that you've had to overcome a lot. And right now we're talking about the obstacle, the challenge you have to overcome, but you might find difficulty in finding joy in the moment and in just the work in the process. So what is the biggest obstacle, the challenge? Yes, it is cultivating gratitude, finding joy in the moment. That is your biggest obstacle and challenge, and believing that your dreams will come true. 9 of Cups is all about wish fulfillment, and it's about like emotional fulfillment, feeling satisfied with life. So your biggest challenge here is like stepping into this happiness and this openness with life. You're not having to brace for like the worst case scenario, not having to wait for things to go wrong or not having to expect loss and hardship, but it's like really expecting beautiful things. It's like life dramatically changes when you just expect beautiful things to happen to you. And when you really step into this energy of just really loving yourself, practicing definitely forgiveness for anyone that did maybe wrong you, hurt you, or in any way where you might have felt betrayed in your childhood, but also self-forgiveness and acceptance and just tapping into that joy and gratitude for what you have and for what's to come, expecting blessings from the universe. 5 of Pentacles energy is very much like expecting hardship and loss and lack. 9 of Cups is very much like expecting blessing and abundance. You got the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom. So that is really telling me it's going to be very important for you to nurture yourself during this time. But it is also a potential message of good fortune coming into your life, whether that be emotionally with a companion, greater intimacy with your companion if you already have a companion, or a potential lover, companion coming into your life, or even like financial abundance or physical abundance, a feeling of feeling very secure in your reality and your surroundings. How is this wound affecting their current reality in life? How is it affecting their current reality? We got the 10 of Pentacles. So if you do have a family, if you have children and a partner, it could be potentially affecting your home life. It's like the triggers and the deep hurt from this wounding could be seeping into the wounding that came from your family of origin, could be coming and seeping into your family of creation's life. You might feel resentment towards current family members because of, the way you have to take care of them, how you've always had to take care of others, which could be Queen of Pentacles energy that we saw earlier. I mean, in her unstable state, she very much is the caregiver who overgives. And the one who potentially doesn't give herself enough care. Just really noticing it looks like the mother here. She looks like she's keeping an eye on the children. And then look, it's even a grandmother, the crone, who's having to do all the cooking. It's like it could subconsciously be seeping into your relationships and your physical reality, your interactions with others, because it's unconsciously the wounds being triggered, or just because you haven't fully healed yet, or maybe because you're unaware of this wound. You don't know it's there. So of course, how can you heal from it if you don't know it's there? It could be coming out and rising from these subconscious and unconscious ways. Ten of Pentacles is also about your legacy, what you will pass on. This could be a call for you to break trauma and inherited trauma, inherited emotional trauma, inherited patterns, like inherited generational patterns. This could be very much a call for you to consider those things within yourself, those patterns, behavioral patterns, thought patterns, emotional patterns, and whether or not you want to pass those on to your children, whether or not you want them to live on, whether or not they are serving you and your greater capacity for abundance, which is the opposite of where we came from, the Five of Pentacles, right? Where's the opportunity for growth and healing here? What are the opportunities for growth and healing? This guy very much reminds me of the Page of Cups guy. They both have long dark hair, and I don't know, they both just look like that handsome type to me. But the opportunities for growth and healing here, I'm just really drawn to how relaxed he looks in this card. I feel like, of course, if you had to be this very responsible person, you had to take care of a lot. Remember, like we said, there was like a death of this carefree, innocent, childlike energy because you had to step into this assumed role. It's like the opportunity for growth and healing it's the revival of this like relaxed, carefree, open energy, like in a positive way, not carefree, like reckless or like midlife crisis or like totally blowing off all your responsibilities or like leaving your family if you have one. No, it's like this more feeling of like relaxing into life. Not feeling burdened by your responsibilities, but feeling blessed by them. Feeling more open to life. See how his legs are open, his arms open. He's like leaning into this tree. He's very in touch with nature. He's like the Knight of Cups energy is a very like go with the flow kind of energy. He's not worried about getting where he's going. He's very much enjoying his journey, like we talked about before with this card. He's not rushing to his destination. He's enjoying the process of getting there. So that is a big opportunity of growth for you. It's enjoying the process of getting there, the process of becoming. When I say that, it's like becoming who you want to be or feeling settled in the present moment. Again, tapping into that artistic energy. If you have that within you, if you resonate with that. I'm seeing this picture here, this book. It's like painting, drawing, writing, getting in touch with nature. It's this opportunity for growth and healing here for you, of feeling more relaxed in life, letting go a little bit, not having to feel like you have to control everything because maybe you did, maybe you had to when you were young. Maybe that was a coping mechanism that kept you safe of, stepping into the role of having to take care of everyone or be in control. So you've always felt like you had to control everything, right? No, trusting life, trusting the divine, letting things come to you in their own divine timing, releasing and relaxing a little bit, letting go, like I said, shedding those things, the heavier energies that are weighing you down. And that is going to bring you into more alignment and balance with the Two of Cups here at the bottom. That's really confirming that. It's like balancing those masculine and feminine qualities within you. You might have felt like you had to adopt more of the divine masculine, like the being responsible, getting to places on time, taking care of others, being the protector in the family, being the protector for yourself because you didn't feel like you had that within your caregivers. So maybe you have this overactive divine masculine energy within you, and you're being asked to embrace more of the divine feminine, which could potentially be the Knight of Cups. So this relaxing and receiving energy and trusting. Who or what can help? 3. Who or what? The Emperor. Wow. This is so funny because I asked this question for all groups, and I feel like for each group, the guides are saying you are the best person to help yourself because you are the Emperor. You are this divine, masculine, take charge energy, take care of things. The Emperor is the king of all the kings, and that's what I really feel like you had to step into in your childhood that made you shed your innocent childlike nature, your playfulness, which is the the Page of Cups and also the Knight of Cups. It's like you lost the sense of playfulness at an early age when you shouldn't have. And you are the best person to help yourself because you're very capable. You have that all within you because you had to cultivate this at an early age, that you very much can find stability and security and groundedness within you because you've had to do it. So it's like really trusting yourself and your capability to do this healing, to tap into that more feminine energy and relax a little bit. Realize that you don't have to hold so tight and control onto things. Things will get done. And you have divine guidance and divine support in the background of so many of these cards helping you through this process. It's just like maybe leaning into those strengths and then releasing the rigidity and the constraint, like the control. And what is the gift or the lesson or the blessing in all this? What is the gift or the lesson? Gift, the lesson. Wow. Yeah, the Hanged Man is all about surrender. It's about releasing control. It's about seeing things from a larger perspective. I really do feel like the healing of this inner child wound is going to open up your awareness and your perception of yourself and your reality. It's going to really, it's going to offer you like this enlightenment moment. You could be going through a spiritual awakening. I just see how she's doing yoga. You could be, the Hanged Man is kind of being in this transition period. It's being in like this limbo period that I kind of spoke of before, the gray period. Yes. It's like you are in this kind of waiting period, transition period before you step into this new era for yourself. So you are gaining a larger perspective of things. This is going to invite in much more self-awareness and enlightenment. And it is just a big opportunity. Like the big lesson here is surrender. And it's like surrendering to that inner child energy, letting go of, even though you had to step into this role of being responsible and letting go of your carefree child and imaginative, creative child too early in your life. It's like realizing you don't need to hold on to all of that rigidity right now. If she was like super rigid, she would just fall over to some degree. Of course she has to hold her body tight in the pose, but you can't be too stiff. Otherwise you're going to be in a lot of pain when you come out of the pose, right? It's like there needs to be a little bit of a sense of like, if you release some of that pain, some of that potential, like it could be resentment or however it's manifesting for you. Maybe it's just deep hurt. Maybe it's just a deep longing for a reunion with this inner child. If you release a little bit some of these heavier energies, you are going to feel so much lighter and more in balance, like we saw before. And things are going to get easier. Life's going to get easier. It's going to get more enjoyable. That is the gift. Your gift in all of this healing is joy. And the lesson is a surrender to the healing process. Thank you so much, Group 3, for this reading. I really do appreciate you being here. I hope this reading gave you some peace or some comfort, some clarity on your journey right now. I hope that it helped you in some way. And again, it was such an honor to read for you. Thank you for being here, and I will see you again next time. Thank you.